Colin, Chiefs Panthers is one of the matchups this week. Give us your winner and final score.
I actually really like what they're doing in Carolina. I like that college guy, and I think Teddy Bridgewater's closer to
played well.
He's closer to Drew Brees this morning than he is further apart. He can't throw a deep ball. Chiefs win by a touchdown, but I would take the points in Carolina. I think I like what they're doing there.
What's the points?
About 10 points.
Yeah, because the minute that I got the first pick this week, and the first choice to me was the minute I'm first pick, I saw Kansas City hosting Carolina. And
Boom.
I went, boom, that's me. It'd take me 2 seconds.
By the way, here's an interesting one for you. So the league average right now is 35 throws a game for a quarterback.
Right.
Terry Bradshaw joining us, the Hall of Famer.
Hey, folks. I'm over here adjusting my zipper.
That's okay. Well, the TV audience obviously knows. Your radio audience, Terry Bradshaw, NFL Fox. Mahomes is throwing 30, and he's better than all of them.
Wow.
So it's interesting because Kansas City is clearly saying, listen, we love him, but we don't want him going back to pass 42 times.
Right.
So you played in a different era, but you had Swan and Stallworth and Benny Cunningham.
Right.
What did you throw? How many throws a game did you throw?
You know what, Colin? Someone will have to look this up, but I think 19.
Wow.
I think for my career, 19 was my average, I think.
You were a power running team.
Right. Right.
But
we ran 65, 70%. Yeah.
But you, like Mahomes, were a home run hitter. You took some strikes down the field.
I would be a Josh Allen today. If I came out of Louisiana Tech completing 52% of my passes, maybe. I went into the NFL and retired completing 51.9%. So I was true to my form, as Josh Allen was a 56% guy at Wyoming, and he started out at 70. Now he's getting back to what he is. They're saying he's terrible at 56%, but he is. That is with the West Coast offense and the way the triangle offense works today. It's 65% is not uncommon if you run the West Coast offense.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, we were talking about, you're from Pittsburgh, obviously not from there, but that's right. Your 4 rings. And Eric Mangini came on earlier and he goes, this is weird. Steelers are probably the second biggest brand in the league. They're the only undefeated team.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about them.
Right.
And he's like, you got to
Is it Pittsburgh? Is it because they're Pittsburgh?
Well, I don't know what it is because they're not. You know what I always like about them? They don't just draft players; they develop them. They're really good about Terry. A lot of teams just collect talent.
Yeah.
So when you even go back to your days, we gotta give, because I've been critical of Tomlin before. Sometimes they're not buttoned up, but boy, I watch them, Terry. They have changed their defense. The Minka Fitzpatrick deal.
They just made the deal from the Jets to get that linebacker.
Avery Williamson.
Yes. Go along like Bush. The other thing about the Pittsburgh drafting department or the scouting was the bunch that was fired in Detroit. Did you know that? I can't think of their name. I apologize. I just studied them the other day. I very seldom look into scouting departments, but they were fired by the Detroit Lions, and both the scout and the general manager ended up going to Pittsburgh.
I think they're
Kevin, is it Kevin?
Kevin Colbert.
Is that it, Kevin Colbert?
I think they have the best constructed roster in the NFL.
They know what they want, see? If you know what you want, and you're working in correlation with what your head coach wants and likes, and then you all three equal need, and you say, here's our needs, here's what fits the Steeler and the Tomlin mold, and then that's the player. And they don't get away from that. And you look at them year in and year out. Great defense.
Physical players.
Great defense. Yes, very physical.
It's interesting because I talked about this. I said, a smart person told me years ago, he said, when you get older and you got more money and power, don't use it. You won't have to. When you have power, people know it. Don't flex. It turns people off, and it'll be avarice. It'll be ego.
That's a good point.
It's an interesting point.
Yeah.
And Belichick's obviously great. But the more Super Bowls, the more power he has in drafting. Terry, that's the slowest offense in the league. Bill has pushed people away. Sean Payton's great,
right,
but Mickey Loomis runs that draft.
Runs the draft.
And I look at New England right now, Terry.
With Payton. Now, they doesn't do it on his own.
That's right.
Look,
but
it's not like some of these head coaches that didn't even know who they drafted. The guy in Green Bay, LaFleur.
Yeah.
He found out they drafted a quarterback in the first round over TV. Now, what does that tell you about Green Bay? What about LaFleur and what he needed to be? Do we not need a wide receiver in Green Bay? Do we not need a linebacker in Green Bay? We got rid of the one we had. So that's to me is not the way to run a draft.
So, but my point with New England is we have this idea that, they'll rebuild and it'll be easy. And my takeaway is not that easy. By the way, Chuck Noll, when you left, didn't win as many games. I don't think New England's good offensively. I don't think they're fast. I don't think they have a quarterback. I don't think they have an answer. And I think they're going to win 4 or 5 games and not get one of the college guys. So go back. When you left Pittsburgh, the idea is and Chuck Noll was a legend. I'm not saying that. But boy, a good quarterback lubricates everything. Just a little easy. What were they the last 4 years? When you left the next 4 years, how did Pittsburgh do? 8, 7?
I think they did pretty good.
I think they were okay.
Mark Malone was a quarterback. I remember.
I remember.
They made the playoffs.
That's it, but they weren't winning playoff games.
Well, but they made the playoffs.
All right.
Now, Bill, look, there's a Tom Brady and a Bill Belichick thing going on in New England, and we all suspect, Tom wanted to get away. Tom wanted to win weather. Tom wanted to play. Tom wanted to prove that he was whatever. I don't know if all that's true. That's just us sitting here on television and radio just talking.
Right.
Belichick, on the other hand, he's got a bear covered, and a lot of his guys opted out because of COVID-19 not to play. There's like five really good defense, 5 really good players, most of them defense. So he has to get a quarterback, and the best one he thought was Cam Newton. I think Cam's probably going to be one and done there.
Yeah, it feels like it.
I think that's probably the way you look at it. And then they have not had to now get a quarterback. They've been able to get a Jimmy Garoppolo. Let's take a shot on Jimmy Garoppolo. Okay, out of where? Eastern Illinois, wherever he went.
They've drafted 11 quarterbacks. They hit on 2.
Okay, let's try Jimmy, and no big pressure. We have Tom. Well, now there's pressure. Now that guy you draft in the second round or possibly move up in the first, he has got to hit. He has got to hit. Otherwise, you're setting your entire team goes back, It's like the Cowboys. They finally hit. Now they haven't signed. Now they lose it. You've got to hit on that quarterback. Now you build around that. Now you can build. And you can't. If I were running a team today, Colin, I would do one or two things. I'd build defense, or I'd build offense, and then I'd build the opposite. I'd stay with one side of the ball so I could at least be good on one side of the ball while I put the other side together.
Yeah. Getting the quarterback's not as easy as people think.
It's impossible.
12 quarterbacks have been drafted in the last 3 drafts in the first round. 4 are hits. There's questions about the other 8. So it's hard. We are very blessed, and I think all the football fans out there, now that we have Tua, he's going to be a star. Okay, let's see. We'll see.
He is. No, he is.
All right.
Now, they got to put things right. Kyler Murray, a guy I did not think was going. Kyler Murray is the shocker of all because he's got to sit so deep. Yeah. He takes his shotgun and he drops back. He's 10 yards deep so he can throw the post routes. But Mike, he's amazing.
Yeah.
He's won me over. That head coach, I was listening to you earlier, that head coach is a better head coach in the NFL than he was in college.
Yeah.
It was just shocking. That
never happens.
Never happens. So you got him. Then, of course, Mahomes has been there. And you got Allen up in Buffalo. We've got that. We've got the kid Burrows in Cincinnati. Now we got Herbert out here in
Big
Los
arm.
Angeles. I'm telling you, the NFL is blessed right now to have 7, 8 Jackson.
Lamar Jackson.
7 or 8 really great. Wilson is still a young guy, but we've got young players.
By the way, and the older guys are playing longer. So the league's in really good hands.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to sound like I always say this. I never liked Baker out of college. I didn't like Johnny Manziel.
I don't like Baker. I don't like Baker Mayfield.
All right, you don't.
I never did like Baker Mayfield.
How come?
I don't like people like that.
Right.
I'm a character guy.
Yeah.
And maybe I've never met the man. He may be the most wonderful human being in the world, but his body language and the way he acts, it's a turn off for me. That's just me. When Cam Newton came out, I didn't like Cam Newton. Yeah. I don't like all that first down Superman.
Okay.
I don't like that stuff. That's me.
Okay, so I've said this. So Drew Lock, now he's got a good sense of humor because he heard I said it. So Drew Lock came out last week. Nobody even knows if he can play, and he's dancing after the touchdown. I'm like, win a few games. I didn't like Manziel in college. He was a big. I don't like now. Aaron can get away with Aaron.
Manziel, I couldn't stand either.
I didn't like him.
I don't. You can probably pick up. I don't like guys like that.
Right.
Shut your mouth up.
Okay, now watch this. This playing stuff. Now, Drew Lock. Do we have the bite? Drew was funny.
Drew Lock. Now, I don't know anything about him. He's a kid from Missouri. He's playing in Denver.
He's got a nice arm.
Yeah,
he's a little bit of a baller. And he made fun of me. He's like, well, Cowherd can't dance. That's why he doesn't. Do we have the sound? All right. So, but the point being is, but I don't love this, and everybody calls me old grumpy guy. It tells me that you lack a little self-awareness. That's what and you're running a $4 billion franchise. I don't like it. And you don't like it either.
No, look. I don't like it because that's not the way I was raised. I was taught to have ultimate respect for the people you're competing against. Show them great respect and have great humility. Keep your mouth shut. It's hard enough to win.
Is that how your dad said?
Huh?
Your dad was into that.
Absolutely. And so that is the way I've grown up. That's the way my girls know that's the way Dad feels. You be sweet and kind to people. That doesn't mean you don't go out on the competitive environment or on the field and try to just destroy them. I'm fine with that, but be cool. Be nice.
Yeah,
be
you
humble.
were never a big fist pumper.
No. Just do your job. Just do your job. I don't get that, but I understand. Well, I'm trying to make my brand. Well, where's Manziel's brand right now? Got a job doing something, right?
Right.
And Baker Mayfield, just something about him. I don't care anything about him. Don't care anything about him. You know what? I was on Aaron Rodgers a little bit last night.
I'm not a big fan of it.
Yeah, I was just like Aaron Rodgers lost last week to Minnesota, and it was just like, oh, what the hell? Well, we're going to lose this game. But if I was trying to make a point, and I didn't write any notes, and so I went way out in left field. Jimmy Johnson said, I called Jimmy this morning. He said, where were you going with that quarterback thing? And I went, I got to be honest with you, Jimmy. I couldn't even think of a quarterback. So I brought up Burt Jones. Then I talked about Roger Staubach. Then I finally got into Troy Aikman. And then I got into Tom Brady because had Tom Brady been in Green Bay last week, he wouldn't have been sitting over there on the sideline looking at the tablet. He'd been screaming and hollered, and that's why he's got 6, and that's why he has 1.
No.
And that was,
I tend to agree with you on that right there.
Yeah.
That's one of the things you and I agree with.
Yeah.
By the way, throw it out there. We all like Dak, but and whatever. So Dallas is bad. They're not as bad as the Jets, but they may be close.
I don't know about that.
Okay, so if they are bad. So here's the thing. There's 3 teams in the league we think are atrocious. Jets, Jags, Cowboys.
Oh, my God.
Okay, so Justin Fields.
Jerry Jones just got to be throwing up right now.
Would you at least look? Justin Fields, quarterbacks, Ohio State. 46 touchdowns, 3 picks. Number 1 high school kid. I can like Dak.
Yeah.
Don't you have to have a meeting whether or not you move off Dak? If you have the 2nd pick and Dallas may end up there, Terry? I mean, I can like Dak and respect him. This kid is great.
Okay, so you take Justin Fields, and right now, the MO coming out of Texas Tech quarterbacks was what? They didn't fare very well. Right. University of Houston, remember when they were doing the run and gun and all that, and they didn't fare very well in the NFL. Matter of fact, where won the Heisman Trophy? Nothing in the NFL. So you're looking at Ohio State now, and you're looking, okay, name me the last great quarterback that played in the NFL out of Ohio State, if there's ever been one.
No, no. So
now you've got the guy in Washington that's
Dwayne Haskins didn't work.
He didn't work. Is this guy like Haskins? I mean,
he's a better athlete.
Okay,
he runs around.
All right, so you got that situation. I think the best,
Trade
you would have to. You got to look at it, but the question with Dak Prescott is that if in fact he's healthy and he's young, and he will be, he will be, you got to make sure of that, whether or not you sign him to a long-term deal or just franchise him again.
I think I'd franchise him one more time.
Year,
one
make
more
sure
year.
He can play a healthy year. Yeah, that's probably the. And then you got the kid down in Clemson, and everyone's going to want him. The Jets going to want him. What are they going to do with Darnold?
Well, I think the Colts.
See, I like Darnold. I like that kid.
So do I.
Yeah, and the Jet quarterback. Yeah.
I think, but I think New York doesn't have a brand right now, and in a highly competitive city.
Right.
Trevor Lawrence is hope. They've seen Darnold, and That's what I think they do. I think, by the way,
hope with the Jets or hope with the Giants.
Well, no, Giants will stay on Daniel Jones.
I see. Now you and I agree to that. I got a lot of people that tell me I'm crazy, but I said no. I like Daniel. There's a lot we can work with here.
Yeah, with Darnold you can as well, but the difference is the Jets are poorly run, the Giants aren't, and the Jets will say, Trevor Lawrence is going to solve everything.
I'm not got news for them there.
It's not.
Yeah.
Terry, they're the only team in the NFL except the Jaguars. You could make an argument they need a player in every unit. All 10. They need a player
They do
everywhere.
some crazy things, and I don't understand a lot of these athletes. Le'Veon Bell was going to be the savior up there for running back. Le'Veon Bell is just dumb as a box of rocks.
Oh, come on.
Number one, he should have stayed in
Well,
Pittsburgh.
he should have stayed in Pittsburgh.
Stay in Pittsburgh where the offense fits you. They feature you.
They loved you.
You're on your way to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Brown, same thing. Stay in. So you're going to get paid, but what is is $2 or $3 million more when you're making 10 or 12 million worth more, and then to go someplace and be totally a bust?
I think environment is, unless you're LeBron, environment is 75. Like James Harden could score anywhere. James Harden's the best scorer in the world in basketball.
But he's got the ball in his hand and it's one-on-one. That's basketball. We're talking football.
It's mostly environment. Yeah. There's no question.
See, I just think these guys just don't think. And I think all of us old athletes, and that's what I am, we all look at it and go, would I have left Pittsburgh and that incredible bunch of talented players I was playing with so I can make $200,000, I was making $300,000, I'm going to make $500,000 to go play for Buffalo or whomever? Yeah. Would I do that? No. Why? I got a chance to win a Super Bowl.
I will tell you this, though. If I was a running back, I would think about it. Because my career lasts 5-6 years. Quarterback, I wouldn't.
What? Talking about now or then?
No, I'm thinking right now. A running back's the only position in football on offense that you can't change the violence. You're going to get hit without seeing it. Receivers, tight end. It's the only position you can't protect. Now, linebackers, same thing, collisions. But if I was a running back and I'm sitting there thinking $14 million down in Tampa with no state tax or $9 million here, I think I'd take it. I think as a running back, I'd go. Now, I'm not saying Le'Veon should have because the Jets are poorly run and the Steelers are great. But I get running backs leaving.
Okay.
I get it.
Okay, they leaving for money. They're not leaving for any other reason than money.
Well.
Money. It's money. It's all money driven.
Well, that's okay, though, but a lot of people do stuff for money.
Yeah. Now, it's got to be big money.
Yes.
It can't be just change. It's got to be cash, big cash.
Yeah, no, but running back, I leave for money.
Because their careers, running backs in the NFL, everybody always says, well, we got to have a running back. We got this Ezekiel Elliott. And now we're finding out, as all of us know, running backs, the really good running backs normally have creases to run in.
Yeah.
And then those that don't have creases are really good at vision and feeling and doing the cutback stuff. And then that's it. Then you do a little play action off of them. And you're like, well, you got to have a running game. Then you sign these guys. Then your offensive line's no good. Now, what good does it do to have a running back? Because he can't go anywhere.
Right.
They don't go anywhere. They don't move the line of scrimmage.
The only running back I've seen in my life.
Barry Sanders.
I was going to say Walter Payton. Noah Jackson was his best offensive lineman. He had 4 bad offensive linemen and was unstoppable. Barry Sanders was great.
Yeah.
Do you know Chris Spielman?
It's hard not to talk. When you talk great running backs,
Chris Spielman.
Well, the first one comes to mind is Barry.
Chris Spielman told me when he was a Lion and got drafted, is the only. Chris Spielman was a great.
Yes.
He was one of the best college players of all time.
Right.
He said you would, as a linebacker, get in line for the tackling drill, and you would count 1, 2, 3, 4. He's
very.
Go ahead. He goes, you'd never want to tackle him. He said he would humiliate you. He goes, you would count and go, I'm not going to be the third guy because he's the third guy to touch it. It's his only player in my career. It's like I had no interest in practice competing against him.
Yeah, remember the old Oklahoma drill?
That's the drill.
Yeah, where they snap the ball and you go straight through there and you go right or left and you just get plastered. Yeah, I can only imagine.
And Spielman was great, and he said, I practice, you would look so bad at practice. It's like I had no interest.
Barry, make you look. There's a great comedian named Jerry Clower. You ever heard of Jerry Clower? He's a country comedian. Of course not. And he played at Mississippi State, and he played defensive tackle. And he played against this great running back who was a lot like Barry Sanders.
Yeah.
And he had a great All-American in by him, and he was chasing this running back, and he gave out in the fourth quarter. He was exhausted. And Jerry said, you gotta stop chasing him. He'll be back in a minute.
Yeah.
And that's like Barry. And then he comes,
Yeah. All right, we got to roll. I'm way late on this.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's my fault. We just got 17 minutes.
I'm through. You gave me 22 minutes last time.
What time do we come back?
No, you said 22.
We come back.
No, I'm not complaining. I've never been on a show where I've got minutes stuck on my head.
Alex, how much did we give Terry? 21 and a half minutes we just gave you.
That's a bull.
That's what they told me. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.